Good morning, Warren. Doing my gratitude garden again, and just the year is coming to a close soon. Um, so a lot of stuff going on. It's like a whirlwind. It's like no time, but 100 things to do. But they're all good things, really exciting things. And having good conversations about plans for not just next year, but for future years in terms of how we want to reshape what education looks like here at Warren. And that stuff just always gets me excited because I think anyone who's known me for any real period of time knows that, like, ever since I got into education about 14, 15 years ago, um, I've been one to try and um, evolve it, I guess, change it, turn it upside down, because I'm not a big fan of the traditional education model, because it's very rooted in kind of some poor practice. I think well intentioned kind of ideas, but like very old, like ideas that don't produce results and aren't necessarily with kids' interest in mind. They're more like with like efficiency in mind. Um, and it's efficiency without effectiveness, which is not productive. And it's not really taking into consideration the human component. Um, I mean, the education model that we have now was designed about 100 years ago, a little less than that. It's fairly, education as an industry or whatever is very new, but in terms of its foundation, it's still sitting on a foundation um, that is extraordinarily old and was built with different intentions, right? When education first became a thing, it was more about getting kids ready to go into factory work life, um, and just getting them some basics to throw them into the workforce. We have much bigger responsibilities nowadays, much wider array of jobs, much more diverse job market that we have to try and prepare kids for, a much more complicated world. And we need to be responsive to that. And we also are more in tune with the fact that these are little kids and they are humans and they're not, um, just pieces on a factory belt that need to be assembled. And it's so kind of uplifting and rewarding to be an administrator in a building where not only can I trust the people that I work with, and but like we have these awesome conversations about ideas and what we want to do, and everyone is open to this kind of evolution of what we do. And so I don't have any specifics to share at this point, but I will start talking about them more. Probably throughout the summer. I'm planning on booting up kind of a video series this summer, which I've done in the past a little bit, where I talk a little bit about my personal take on the different aspects of education. But within those videos, I will talk a little bit about some of these things that we have been uh, kind of discussing as a staff. And many of them, it's going to take a year or two to really give the proper amount of time and planning to pursue, but they're very exciting. I just got done with a conversation with Miss Priestley where I was discussing some of these ideas, and she was all excited. I was all excited, and it's really nice being in a workplace where, like, it's not stagnant. People aren't they're not stuck in their ways. They really are about trying to figure out what can we do differently, what's best. What can we learn from the past. Um, and this year has brought a whole lot of learning, a whole new perspective to things, and there's just a lot of ideas that are just coming out that are great, that we're actively thinking about and pursuing. One of which was, I had a great meeting this morning with my team leaders. I got great response from the community when I put out a form to get feedback around the dress code, because that was one of those things where, you know, we had a couple questions come in about dress code, and so just to kind of like stem the emails and phone calls we were getting, we just kind of like put the dress code out there. It's in the handbook, but I know that in the moment we don't always think of those things when we're trying to figure out what's going on. The handbook is also like 40 or 50 pages long, and a lot of times it's easier just to call or send an email. So I posted the dress code on Parent Square, and then I looked at it and read it after I posted it, and was like, it's been a while. And I realized like I didn't help create the dress code, and I've been here for 8 years. So I mean that thing was here when I got here, and had been here for a while. That dress code is at least 10 years old, probably older than that, and was in desperate need of some revision after I started looking at it. There's some things that stuck out as very odd to me. So taking all that feedback in, I should hopefully have something ready to go for Friday, where I will be sending out an updated dress code that hopefully is just more reflective and practical and realistic for everybody. And so that was a great discussion to have. And as with many of these types of discussions, it's amazing how even the littlest things like a dress code, like there's a issue where like no matter what we do, there's always going to be something that's going to strike someone somewhere as not okay, or they're going to be upset about it. Like there's one topic in particular where I know no matter what decision we make, there's going to be some people that aren't going to be super happy with it, but I feel like what we have begun crafting this week for a new dress code is far and away better than what we had before. So with that said too, like just the general like energy in this building has been great, as especially as like the mandates have started to relax and things are starting to open up. And I mean, this year has been fantastic in terms of the positivity, the expressions of gratitude. Everyone really supports everyone, which is great. If anyone is having a hard time, it's great to work in a place where you got to go pick your kid up because they have to get to an appointment, they have a soccer game, they maybe like an emergency just came up and like you need to go pick your kid up because they got hurt. Like, we have a community here that is family first through and through. It's not just it's not that we say we're family first, we are family first. A lot of workplaces will claim they're family first, but the second you actually have to put your family first, they get upset with you. And like everyone here is super supportive. Whenever anyone has anything come up, like there are people who, will rework their schedules, will help cover a classroom, we'll make sure that the person who needs to go can go. And everyone works together as a team to make that happen. Everyone shares that belief, and what a difference that makes in a culture. Our nurse on Sunday, got to express some big gratitude to Miss Emerson as we had another case of COVID, and it's Sunday morning, and she worked with me to contact trace and make sure we did everything. It'd been a while since we had to do that, and so we spent a few hours on Sunday tackling that, and she did awesome. Was super positive about it. Tonight is our virtual family fun night, and I know that Lisa Sturgis has put in a ton of effort heading up the committee that was organizing that, and she's done a great job with communication and outreach, and looking forward to seeing how that goes. Big thing for me on a personal note, my dad a few weeks ago was diagnosed with a terminal cancer, because there's like a 99% chance this thing in his stomach was cancer. And like a week and a half later, they did a biopsy, and the biopsy returned, and he was one of the 1%. It is not cancer. The surgery is still risky, but to go from a week and a half of thinking, ooh, like out of nowhere, my dad's not going to be here this summer, to, all of a sudden, like, wow, there's a real solid chance that, like, this is going to be okay. I mean, it's you want to talk about something that grounds you, really pulls you into the moment and gives you a deep sense of gratitude. That right there, that'll do it. So really, really appreciative and hopeful the surgery goes well. And just overall, I mean, things just really seem to be heading in a great direction. Really looking forward to next year. I never would have anticipated in the fall that I would be sitting here in almost June, full of this energy and this passion and this excitement for next year. I thought I would be drained. I thought I'd be fried, frustrated. But this year has gone so much better than I could ever imagine, and that's due to everyone. Everyone came together. Everyone's been positive. All the parents we've ever had to call when we've had cases of COVID, you guys have been awesome and respectful and understanding, even though when you have to quarantine, I know that's hard. I know that's difficult. I know that's putting you out. But you guys have, done amazing at working with us, and it's a great feeling. So, really excited for the next few weeks. It's going to be really busy, a lot of stuff going on, but it's all good stuff. The year is definitely heading towards ending on a very positive note. And next school year, I think we have a couple of small changes I'll talk about in future videos that look to be awesome. And more, even more stuff, bigger stuff to come in years to come that we're discussing and making plans for. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and really appreciate you all. Have a great week.